Alpha TransForm is a platform that allows rapid building and deployment of custom mobile data capture apps, combining a no-code visual form builder and a low-code scripting language that allows custom business logic inside the app. Alpha TransForm is a compelling option that is orders of magnitude faster than traditional methods. Now let's look at some examples of custom apps built using TransForm. And let's start with 5S Audit shown on a tablet. So a 5S Audit form is a form to measure efficiency in a workplace, such as a factory or an office, by marking answers to questions related to organization and methodology used in that workplace. Every question has a score, and then a final score is calculated at the end and shown at the initial screen of the app. We mark the audit date with a date picker or just pick today, and we sign with the auditor's signature. This is an example of an equipment inspection form shown here running on a smartphone. These are people who are visiting sites to perform inspections on a number of equipment inside the site. So the first thing we log in this form is the site information, the details, and we can fill those in manually. But we can also define lookups. So based on a site code, once we pick that site code, then a lookup can be performed and bring down the information for that site. And this gives us additional capabilities, such as checking the weather for the coordinates that were logged for that site, or being able to do navigation so that we can drive to the site and to the exact coordinates. So having brought the information down, we then simulate what would happen when we reach a site that has no network connection. So we take the device into airplane mode, simulating the loss of signal, and we will see that we can continue to work in this form as normal. So we can add the equipment types that we're inspecting. So we've inspected, in this example, a generator on that site, and we've also inspected a boiler. Now, if we go inside the details for each one, we'll see that the checklist of the generator is one type of checklist that corresponds to generator, so checking running hours and fuel tank level. But when we go to the boiler, we'll see that that checklist obviously is different and corresponds to boilers. So it checks water gauges and boiler piping and corrosion. So as we enter values, we can also do validations. So if we enter something reasonable, it stays as is. But if we enter something exotic, then the system warns us that this value looks beyond limits, and please confirm that entry. Now, what we can additionally do, and remembering we're still offline, is that we can grab and log information about what equipment we're inspecting. And a classic way to do that is to do a barcode scan. So we scan the barcode of the device, the equipment that we're inspecting. And not only did we get the barcode, but we performed a lookup on a local database on the device, and we got back what that equipment corresponds to. And not only that, but we found a reference to a document that's also on the device, in this case, a manual. And we can also go through the manual. This could be wiring diagrams, this could be repair videos, any kind of media that we can store on the device, automatically looked up on the device even while we're offline. So we complete the equipment inspection, we mark the date out time, and the inspection is finished. A health and safety audit form allows evaluation and assessing of compliance of site conditions, in this example of a construction site, against owner and other requirements. So we start by logging information about the specific project, who the owner is, who the auditor is, and what are the locations that are being audited. And there is a guide to show how compliance is marked and scored, and what is the final rating calculated based on. The form has 15 sections, and each section, such as the one shown here, has a number of questions and 3 answers next to it regarding safe, unsafe, was a photo taken, and a score for that specific question. So filling in these answers for each of the questions and marking a score for each one of them. So this is the final one. And this now produces a calculation for the score. We've only filled in one section, but if we go to the audit score section, we see that section 6 that we just filled in has one score, and then the total audit score calculated obviously by just using that one section. So we fill in the remaining sections in the same way, and skipping ahead when we filled in all but one section. So we go to the final one and we mark the final result and answers there, and the score for that section. And now the form automatically calculates the summary score there, and we can see the individual scores in this section. And the result, the total audit score, is color-coded depending on the value. So 65 to 79, which was the rating. Now, one or more actions can be defined as a follow-up based on the findings of the audit. These are logged with information of category and classification, and the person that they're assigned to make sure that the task is followed up, and a requested closeout date for that follow-up action. And we can add any number of these actions as a result of the audit. The auditor signs, and the site representative also signs. And that is the end of our health and safety audit. A punch list form shown here running on a smartphone is a way to log tasks and action items against a specific project. In this case, we're going to be showing a building maintenance example. So the project is an office building, and we can enter details here, such as the location information. Some of the fields are entered manually, free text entry, and some of the fields like the state is entered via a drop-down, pre-selected values, where we can take a photo of the location, and this is our top level item, the project. Now, beneath it in the punch list, we define what are the tasks that need to be done. We define a status, we define an item type, similar to a category. We describe what the task is. We can take a photo. And we mark the information needed below it. So each task may have one or more notes next to it. So there was a text entry that we just did, and there's a follow-up piece of information that shows that there is some rust. So we can take a further photo and actually annotate on that photo to describe what we've logged in the note for that task. So there's our punch list with the status information, and now we add a second item, a second task, which is a hinge, a door hinge that needs repair. We mark this task as being in progress. We describe it, and we mark the start date. And here on the main screen is an overview of our tasks and their status. Later on, as the work continues and tasks are completed, we mark their completion status and date, so the main screen is updated to show this information.